Welcome, new galaxy!
After all this time, we get to the final showdown with Bowser. It took a bunch of star gathering and an obstacle course, but we finally did it. A bit bruised from the journey, but still packing enough adrenaline to send him home crying. I will say that it's a good showing by Bowser. He hams up his villainy and gets an impressive attack repertoire in multiple phases to keep things interesting. After failing to kill Mario on the staircase and failing to stop his retrieval of a couple mushrooms that Bowser left for Mario on the stairs because reasons, Bowser reveals his ultimate plan to Mario. He's building a space castle to help him rule the universe. Specifically, he's building an entire planet devoted to himself with the Grand Star's power. It's kind of low stakes and a dumb idea, but at least it's something and it's his. But before Bowser's plan can finish, he has to take out his only hurdle to having everything: Mario, the hero. Bowser wants this to be his dramatic win, so he takes Mario to one of his planet's moons for the first fight, and then proceeds to ride around in a giant boulder with his face on display, hoping to run into Mario somehow. For a guy who is hell-bent on getting this win, it's odd how much Bowser attacks aimlessly. He's just wandering around looking for Mario like a guy seeking the nearest bathroom. Hit the obvious weak spot, knock Bowser around for a bit, and then the next phase begins, where Bowser brings home a new attack, the Spike Ball, where he does this boulder thing except with more power and precision, and this time he actually aims at Mario. It's about as easy to dodge as Dino Piranha's charges, so it's still not a huge deal. This time you are going to want to aim the gluey spheres on the planet and use them to knock Bowser off balance, and continue knocking him around his moons. After that, Bowser gets tired of his own silly tactics and summons Mario to the Galaxy Generator moon and does the same thing as the other two fights with a harder edge. His fireballs get crazy in a bullet hell pattern since he's shooting about 20 of them in orbiting circles. He gets more shockwaves and even does some pirouette death punch. I have no idea about that one. It looks stupid and doesn't do anything. The problem is that his fireballs also don't do anything. You can dodge the wave by jumping over it, and the return shots have a tiny minuscule chance of hitting, and only by accident. We already know how to dodge his shockwave, so adding more doesn't do anything, and his Dark Punch is so drunk and unwieldy that it looks like he'd be part of a Mega Man lineup. All you need to do is keep your eyes open, remember the tactics from the other fights, and you'll win. At that point, Bowser will be thrown up beyond the moon's gravity and plunged into his own spawned lava, and concluded the Mario series forever. If this game had spent any time having that make sense. No, after Bowser's planet collapses in on itself, for some reason he's perfectly fine with no scratches on him, crumbling on some planet. It's a weird boss fight and it's got a lot of effort put in. The problem is that this was a final boss made for 7-year-olds in mind, which means that it has all the new stuff that's on the same difficulty as the entire game behind it. It doesn't help that the orchestral doomsday is at an all-time high and the gameplay isn't delivering on its promise. We only just heard about Bowser's ultimate plan at the end of the game, so the player isn't invested, and Bowser himself is so bad at fighting that the player can't take him seriously as a villain, when the game itself is pushing for that to be the case. He acts like his comic Paper Mario version, yet he's presented as Super Mario World level badass. The two simply don't mix, and it creates this mixed bag ending. Kind of a sum up of the entire game, really.